Have you ever had a joke too good not to use?
Yes.
Even if it went against your better judgment. You know, the type of joke that you know yourself you don't need to be saying out in public. Were you able to control yourself?
No!
Yeah, neither was I. And this is the joke that almost got me fired and almost got my ass kicked. So go ahead, grab a seat, get comfortable, and be ready to be happy that you make better decisions than I do. This is going to be a good one. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Storytime with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig. I just wanted to start this episode off as I start every episode off. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been watching my videos as of late. An even bigger thank you if you've gone as far as to actually like and subscribe. If you haven't had the chance to do that yet, you should do that when you get some free time. It's quick, it's free, and you'll be doing me a favor. I'm not sure if anybody got to see the last video I put out, but I just broke 500 subscribers. That is huge. Also, I wanted to point out that I got some theme music now, and this shit's hot. This is actually coming from my boy Silas the Finest. So if you like what you hear, go check him out. So without further ado, let's jump into today's story. Now, today's story is a little old. All of this went down when I was roughly 18 or 19 years old, so we're looking at about 20 years ago. Now, I only bring this up because still to this day, I look at myself in the mirror and think, damn, Craig, what the fuck were you thinking? And honestly, I still can't answer it. I was probably just high. And I'm only saying this because by the end of this story, you're probably going to have the same question towards me. And I'll just go ahead and say right now, I don't know. So with all that being said, coming right out of high school, my immediate plan was not to go to college. You know, at that time, I really didn't think it was something that I needed, so I ended up not even going until I was about 26. My number one priority at that time was getting out from under my parents' roof. You know what I mean? So as soon as I graduated, I started looking for a job. Anything that could afford me the ability to move out and be able to pay my own rent, I was down for it. You know what I'm saying? So it just so happens that the first job that I could find that could afford that rent was working second shift at a warehouse. Monday through Thursday, 3:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. So you already know this is going to be an interesting crowd. Now, with that being said, and especially now that I've gotten older and I can look back on it, man, that place was like the wild, wild west. I mean, that place was a drug haven. Now, luckily for me, I've never really been one to experiment with drugs much. Maybe working at that warehouse is actually what added to that. I mean, man, I would see people come in at their start time, and they would actually look like a normal functioning adult. And by the time they left, they looked like a straight fucking zombie. And it's not like the company really cared. I mean, they paid so little, they probably realized that people had to be fucked up to stick around there. And all of the lifers that worked there were on more drugs than anybody else in that whole damn place. So I guess by that point, the company just kind of gave up. So when I started at the warehouse, they had actually put me in the back. I was working for the receiving team, which is a fancy way of saying we were the people that unloaded the trucks. Now, it was a relatively small team. I think there's probably about 8 of us, 4 dudes, 4 women. So, you know, of course, with it being such a small team and us working so late, we ended up growing really close. I was cool with everybody I worked with. I actually had a really fun time while I was there. But my favorite person was this chick named Gloria. Now, Gloria was, I don't know, maybe 25 and super country. There's people out there that say that I sound country. But man, if you go back to North Carolina where I'm from and hear some of those people talk, I'm not country at all. But I won't try to fight it. I get it. But, you know, Laura would always talk to us about the stuff she likes. One time I remember she told us that she liked to eat pinto beans and mayonnaise mixed up. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Still to this day, that sounds like the nastiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Please hit me in the comments if anybody has heard of anybody that eats this. Gloria's husband worked there as well. His name was Robert. Now, he didn't work with us. He worked in a different area of the warehouse. You know, being completely transparent, I always was a little intrigued by their relationship. You know, me being that young, they were the first couple I'd met that there was a big gap between their ages. I mean, Robert was like 45. Gloria was only maybe 24, 25, something of that nature, you know. And they already had 4 or 5 kids. So the dynamic just seemed a little strange to me. You know what I mean? Well, one night we're unloading a truck, and I guess Gloria just feels like opening up and telling us some secrets about their sex life. Gloria starts telling us about the fact that her and Robert have started to dabble in anal beads. And she starts telling me how much he actually likes them. On top of that, it almost seemed like she was trying to persuade me at times to try them, because she kept saying,
"Oh my God, Craig, it's just the best orgasm a guy can have."
okay.
Yeah, all you do is right before the guy's fixing to finish, you just pull him out, and supposedly it just intensifies it times 10.
All right. But, it was crazy because the whole time she was telling me this story, the only thing I could imagine was somebody yanking on a lawnmower cord trying to get it started, So, of course, with all these stories, Robert and Gloria started to pick up a little bit of a reputation, at least within the receiving department. I'm positive Robert didn't want us knowing all this stuff that goes on in their bedroom, but Gloria had no problem telling us. I mean, I remember one time they actually had a party. I wasn't able to go, but one of my coworkers went. And he came back to work on Monday talking about the fact that he saw the anal beads hanging from their doorknob in their bedroom, So I remember one night specifically came around, and it was Gloria's birthday. They had a few birthday cards going around that people were signing, and I kind of picked up on the fact that there was more than one. So I had asked, what's going on with all these birthday cards? And our supervisor had told me, because the warehouse is so big, they actually had multiple cards, and the only people that were going to be seeing the card that I was signing was going to be the people within the receiving department. I'm the type, if you give me a birthday card to sign, I don't like to just write happy birthday, Craig. I like to try to put something in there you're going to remember. So they had walked up to me earlier that day wanting me to sign. So I just told them, hold up. I got to think of something good to write, and then I'll get back to you, So quick side note, like I've already mentioned, when I was working there, I was only 18 or 19. At that time, I was a pothead. Every night during lunch, I'd get in my car, roll around, and just blaze. So while I'm on my nightly ride, it hits me, and I have the perfect thing to write in this card. So as soon as I walk back into the building, I go right back to the receiving department, and I scoop up the card and I start writing. Gloria, I hope you have a great birthday. I hope you get everything that you have asked for, and I also hope that tonight you get to enjoy some pinto beads and mayonnaise when you get home. Parentheses. I really hope Robert doesn't see this. Craig. Literally, 45 minutes after I signed this card, I'm sitting on the back of a truck unloading it, still blazed out of my mind, and my supervisor walks up to me.
Craig, what did you write in Gloria's card?
Just a little bit of an inside joke.
Did this joke have anything to do with Robert?
Yeah.
Well, Robert saw the card, and he's pissed. We're going to have to send you home for the night.
Oh my God!
Dude was so pissed, they actually had to restrain him while they helped me exit the building. Yo, I'm only like 18. This dude's like 45, and he was ready to whoop my ass because his wife spilled the beans, and told the whole department that he liked to dabble around in anal beads. Boy, he was pissed. I mean, I get to work the next day, and everybody's just like, dude, you dodged a bullet. And then, of course, word gets around as to what was actually said in that birthday card. So then that reputation that we were talking about previously within the receiving department, that ain't just in the receiving department anymore. Wow. Moral of the story, don't be a fucking funny guy. Some jokes don't need to be written down. I mean, man, that would have gone a lot better if I actually just would have said that to Gloria instead of writing in that card. But also, with that being said, don't discuss your sex life with people that you don't know that well. I mean, I will take credit for what happened, but damn, I didn't need to know all that. But what's funny is I actually worked there for another probably 6 months after all this went down. I would pass Robert on a daily basis. He would not even look me in the eyes. We'll just say me and Robert never became friends. So thank you so much to everybody that stuck around and listened to my story today. As always, if you did enjoy, please don't forget, like and subscribe. I will have more videos coming up. I do believe the next video is actually going to be a Christmas themed one. I'm super pumped about that. So as always, until next time, peace.